David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto, and I'm at Mini Indy Go-Karts. It's been here at Centennial Park for decades. It is well loved by the patrons. 65 people are employed here. The facility delivers some $200,000 a year to the city coffers. So riddle me this. Why is the city going ahead with shutting down this facility? I am with the owner of Mini Indy Go-Karts, that's Don Dugan, and he is going to try to connect the dots and explain to me what I think is unexplainable. And Don, thank you so much for making time for me. As I said in the intro, this facility has been here for decades. Many happy customers. You employ so many. You are, you're a revenue center for the city. And yet, come November, the city is going to shut this facility down. Why?
That's their plan. As near as we can see, it's pandering special interest and nothing more. And a matter of maybe the councillors have decided, or the councillor has decided that more like a feather in his cap to have a baseball hub, of which there's lots of baseball in this park already. We don't understand. We don't understand why they would snub, basically give the middle finger to all these people. I can show you pictures of all the people that, that do attend this place. It's Canada's largest go-kart track. Canada's largest go-kart track. And, that's one of the strange things is that here we have Canada's largest go-kart track in Canada's largest city, in a park that's the second largest park in all of Toronto. So, it's not a money issue. It's they're replacing it with something that doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, make near the dollars that we do.
The city says they have a new master plan about what they want to install here. What I can't get an answer for, Don, is why can't the go-kart track be accommodated with all the other rec facilities they want to put in?
And we totally agree with that, David. Totally. Because this 524 acres is the size of the park, and we're using up at 11 acres. So I don't see why the baseball hub has to be in this particular location when they have baseball diamonds over there, baseball diamonds over there, baseball diamonds on the other side of the park. So why couldn't you find a different location and allow people to continue to attend here like they have for, like you said, decades? We're here 7 days a week, and what we see the baseball diamonds over there sitting empty 80 to 85% of the time. Another baseball diamond up there, 80 to 85% of the time is empty. And the other side of the park, there's more baseball diamonds. So I don't understand why there's a need to have a baseball hub, especially in this area. It seems like especially with Mr. Holiday, he's the same talking points every time he's been, in front of the media. And it seems to me that their mind was already made up. And I did attend one of their meetings back in 2019 or 2020 maybe. And at that stage, I walked away from that meeting after having been slandered by somebody from either the city or the planning committee. They made it very obvious that the go-karts were not a part of their plan. They'd already made up their minds. There was no talking with us after the fact or anything like that. They already made up their minds that this is the way things are going to be, and that's what's happened.
And Don, I reached out to the city and the city's Parks, Forestry, and Recreation Department. They sent me this statement. In order to better understand current needs of Centennial Park and park users, the city held in-depth public consultations between January 2020 and July 2021. As part of the master plan, the city engaged with resident stakeholders, Indigenous leaders, youth groups, community groups, and the Anti-Black Racism Accountability Circle through in-person and virtual forums, as well as surveys, interviews, and unique digital engagement tools. I'll just stop right there, Don. What does the Anti-Black Racism Accountability Circle have to do with a go-kart facility?
Absolutely nothing. Again, it goes back to me alluding to the fact that I think they're pandering. They're pandering to special interests to, in search of votes or whatever. But also just take a look at the dates of that. what was happening in that period of 2020 and 2021?
That was COVID, obviously.
Very, and it was all the meetings except for the maybe one at the beginning. They're all Zoom meetings. How many people actually attended? I think that if you look into it, about 6 people made the decision, and there's 22 stakeholders that should have been involved. They've made accommodations for the cricket people. They've made accommodations, for everybody else. So why not accommodate the thousands and thousands of people that come here?
And you mentioned to me that our late great mayor, Rob Ford, he was a patron here too.
Rob Ford was, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. He used to come here with his daughter all the time.
Could it be, this whole climate change mantra that we have to deal with, that these are go-karts, they have emissions coming out of the tailpipe? Is that maybe what the real reason is for shutting down a go-kart track in City of Toronto in 2023?
I find that to be an awful big stretch, simply because of the fact that there is no real alternative to gas-powered go-karts at this stage, and gas-powered go-karts are such a small, insignificant amount of CO2 that's being emitted into the atmosphere from them and they're also all California emissions. All the engines are California emissions, so they're already held to a higher standard than most jurisdictions throughout at least Canada and most of the U.S. So I find that a bit of a stretch for them to think that's part of it. I really do think, though, that in the interest of pandering to special interest groups, they've decided that for whatever reason, the go-kart track is expendable, and they should concentrate on things. November 30th is the official day we have to be out of here. Anything that's left here after November 30th becomes the property of the city. So realistically, we had thought about yesterday being the last day. We've now pushed it till the 22nd because we have some people that want to rent the track that we want to accommodate, and they've been coming for years, so we want to make sure they're looked after. But so having said that, it looks like October the 22nd will be the last day. I do have other interests, so I'm not as much worried about myself personally as I am worried about the jobs that we provide for literally, over the years, I've been doing this for about 40 some odd years. We've given jobs in the go-kart business to hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people. And it's, this place alone, we have about 51 kids that work here on this side, and then there's another 15 that work on the batting cages and the volleyball on the other side. So, every one of those kids is going to lose their job. We have written testimonials from a number of them, saying how this is indeed affecting them. And these kids have gone on to all walks of life. We've got kids that have gone on to become psychologists. They've gone on to be tool makers. They've gone to be policemen and firemen. So it's not like that. There's a representation of all aspects of society here. There's not just a select group that they try to sometimes indicate. I often thought maybe if we were building a drug facility of some sort, we probably have better luck than we have right now. Whatever way it goes, it goes. I just wish that somebody from the city would take the time to sit down and at least talk to me, so we could have a good one-on-one and discuss: is there another solution? Is there another way around this? Could we stay, or do we absolutely have to go? Can you move the baseball to somewhere, the baseball hub to a different location? But nobody ever reached out. Nobody ever talked to me. Nobody said a word. And they've tried to say right from the beginning that they have included us in the conversation. Well, that's not fair. During the COVID period, a lot of people had a lot more to worry about than whether a park was being redone or not.
And what about your clientele? What are your customers, some of whom have been coming here for a couple of decades, have to say?
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's on our side. Like the biggest prevailing factor with this whole thing with everybody seems to be the fact that nobody knew about what was happening at Centennial Park. So they can say that they've talked to 1,500 people or 1,300 people or whatever, but who are these people that they talk to? Who were they? Because they weren't the people that come here to this park, because those people are the ones that come visit us, and they're saying they had nothing about it. Proof of the pudding is we had 31,000 petitions signed in just over the course of about 6 or 7 weeks. So I really think that this would be a Hail Mary, but I'm asking Stephen Holiday to please sit down and talk to me, and or Mayor Chow. I think that Amber Morley has been very supportive, But I think the person whose decision it really is, even though he's denying it, is Stephen Holiday.
And folks, I'm with Michael Ferdua. He is a 10-year veteran employee of the go-kart track. And Michael, what do you make of this impending death sentence? The city says they have a new master plan. They want to put new rec facilities in. I'm not against that, but why can't the go-kart track be accommodated, especially since this park literally has hundreds of acres at its disposal?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous to me. Like he said, I've been working here for about 10 years. And what I've noticed is within this community, everybody comes here to enjoy outdoor go-karting fun from spring until fall. And when it comes to the city planning to build here, I mean, I'm a soccer fan. And I mean, they built the CPL exists right now. What they could do is go renovate those fields so that those teams that are going to exist for however many years have, great infrastructure. But instead, they want to tear this down, build up a World Cup training facility and more baseball fields, and then tear them down eventually again. It's ridiculous to me. So
I can't figure it out either. And, I spoke to Don, the boss, and he says that there's 65 people he employs here at peak season. He contributes $200,000 to city coffers. There's great demand. He showed me photographs in the summertime of huge lineups of people, champing at the bit to get in these cars. Do you think there's some unspoken strategy here by the city? We have a very leftist council. Is it maybe because these are go-karts that have emissions, and maybe it plays into their whole climate change agenda?
Well, that's initially what I thought, but when you think about it, there was no resolution given to us to say, hey, if you guys want to buy electric go-karts, go ahead and you guys can stick around. I've been the hiring manager for the last 7 years, and city council, I probably hired some of your kids before. When it comes to this go-kart track, it's more than just the family between the employees. Customers come here, they know me on a first-name basis. I know them on a first-name basis. Their family as well. We've had 35,000 plus signatures signed this summer alone telling you people do not want this. You guys had about 100 and whatever votes to say people do want this. That's ridiculous. You guys need to get another vote in. And let the constituents decide what's going on.
Well, folks, I'm with Sarah Tomaszewski. She is a longtime patron of this go-kart track. And I guess, Sarah, are you a little heartbroken that there's just a few weeks left and then this track, unless something major happens to make City Council reverse their decision, it's gone?
Yeah, it's absolutely heartbreaking, honestly. It's been a family-run business for many, many years. I've kind of grown up here. I've had all my cousins work here too, especially in the summers. They've had a blast. And it gets really, really busy here. It's just a great family fun activity to do. And it's also one of Canada's largest outdoor go tracks. So it's just absolutely devastating and heartbreaking to see this place being ripped up because the community all enjoy it. So really heartbreaking.
Sarah, I can't figure this out. It's popular. There's no complaints to get or a petition to have this track shut down. It employs 65 people. It delivers some $200,000 a year to city coffers. And yet this is recreation facility non grata. It doesn't make sense. I know there's a new master plan, but there's so many acres of land. Why can't both be accommodated?
I'm with you on that. I really don't know. It makes no sense to me either because there is so much land, like you were saying. There's plenty of space for already soccer fields, baseball diamonds. I was hearing they may want to do a splash pad. When you look around the park, I'm sure there's more space to incorporate that. So it's, again, why tear this place up that's everybody loves and loves coming here, just to incorporate something like that you can easily fit in elsewhere in the park or even somewhere else in the community. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Sarah, this is just speculation, but we have a city council that is so left-leaning, and this might be right out of left field here, but the fact is, do you think that since these go-karts emit emissions, that maybe there's some kind of climate change propaganda at work that we want to, reduce the carbon footprint of Centennial Park? I know it sounds preposterous, but I can't think of any other real valid reason to close this magnificent facility.
I'm with you. I know I thought of that too, actually, if it was having something to do with the climate change. But I haven't heard of that being the reason, but and if that is the reason, like, come on. Like, again, it's some go-karts. We're not open. They're not open all year round. They're still indoor go-karts. And again, really, how much does that really impact climate change when we still have cars on the road and all this stuff? So
100%.
I'm with you. I think it's questionable for sure of why they want to shut us down.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for your time. If you had the ear of the mayor or city council, what would you say to them in terms of keeping this track alive?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to please to hear the people, hear the community, and that we really just don't want this place to go. Like I said, it's been around for a very long time, and this is a family-run business, and it means the world to these people. So, and again, the community and the kids, everyone has fun here. So, just again, if you can please hear the people and just maybe reconsider keeping this place open, we would really appreciate it.
I just don't get this. I'm trying to connect the dots here. As I said, I hate to be repetitive. This employs people, this go-kart track. It's a source of revenue in the six figures for the city. It's well beloved by its fan base. And this so-called new master plan for Centennial Park, this park has hundreds of acres. How in the world can the go-kart track and the new rec facilities not be accommodated side by side? It is an absolute mystery. And more than that, it is a disgrace that this fantastic facility, after all these decades, is really being shut down for no good reason whatsoever. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies.